As more organizations than ever shift to socially distant teams after the pandemic, challenges in managing these kinds of teams are surfacing. Global Teams at Work identifies common challenges and provides managers with a framework to overcome them. The process provided is the SPLIT framework, which identifies common challenges for managers of distant teams: structure, process, language, identity, and technology. The first challenge involves structure and perception of power. Structural factors such as location, number of work sites, and number of employees can lead to perceived inequities of power, causing resentment among staff. Managers can heal these perceived imbalances by emphasizing unity, reminding employees of common goals and the importance of their work, and making employees feel valued by involving them in decision-making.
When teams are geographically far apart, it can be hard for them to connect with each other and reach a comfortable level of familiarity. This is a barrier because without familiarity, it can be hard for teams to have empathy, which can increase the level of social distance. The question we must now ask is, what needs to be done in order to create familiarity in global teams? Leaders need to implement feedback in routine interactions, unstructured time during meetings, and time to disagree. Feedback in routine interactions is important because communication styles can vary so much between different cultures, so certain behaviors or habits could unknowingly be causing issues for coworkers in other cultures. By offering feedback on routine interactions, team can pinpoint the habits that hinder the progress of the team as a whole and make necessary changes. Unstructured time is necessary because it allows for less formal socialization, which can help in building familiarity and relationships. Time to disagree is essential because it allows for team members to be able to express their perspectives and give alternative solutions. Implementation of these items into global team meetings will help the team to grow familiarity and work together in the most efficient way possible. Global teams can face many communication barriers, but a very prominent one is the various levels of fluency that team members may understand and speak the chosen language. This can be problematic because it can make the less fluent members less influential in the group, even if they have ideas that can be essential to the work. To overcome barriers created by the fluency gap, global team members should be sure to dial down dominance, slow down and refrain from using idioms or unclear language, and be sure that everyone is understanding what is being said. Dial up engagement. Less fluent speakers should be aware of their participation and have a goal of speaking up and being engaged, as well as voicing any concerns about misunderstandings and needs for clarification. Balanced participation. Leaders should be aware of who is participating and seek to hear from each team member, asking specific people who are less engaged for their perspectives. By using these three concepts, global teams are more likely to improve communication and overcome barriers that can slow down progress.
Global teams need to be very purposeful when creating their identity and determining their technology use. Wise leaders need to remember the versatility and the diversity of their global team. They need to be very careful to create an environment that's physiologically safe for their team, and they must avoid assumptions based on the independent variables of identity with each teammate. They do this by asking a lot of intentional questions, and they set the example for communication that you want others to follow. They establish a two-way communication system within your team, and they create meaning and organizational norms so that you can ensure all members' identities are valued and each person can express themselves, stay true to their identity, take risk, and share concerns, as well as feel confident to speak up in the team. When considering the technology uses of your team, you need to be thoughtful of the types of technology and when to use them. Virtual meetings allow emotions and context to be conveyed. They can also be more instantaneous and allow for clarifying questions. They can be challenging for global teams, especially when they span multiple time zones. Virtual formats allow one member a greater chance of persuading another, which can be another added benefit. Emails are more efficient and easier, but they are void of context clues to support the meaning and they require lag time when one party is waiting on a reply from others. Wise leaders communicate through a multitude of platforms and methods and take into consideration the purpose, the content, and the timing of their communication to determine what type is best.
On this slide, we will give 3 real-world examples that can occur throughout a workplace and possible solutions to the problems. For example, an employee is coming to the CEO to get advice concerning an issue that they are experts in. Although the employee lacks understanding of the situation, the employer still listens to them proactively while providing sound advice. Another example would be an employee who has longevity in the company compared to one who doesn't. The company should make sure that both parties feel heard throughout all situations. Lastly, an employee is leading their first meeting with the company but has strong accent. The company should find ways to ensure that the employer is heard despite language barriers without feeling targeted. After the pandemic, social distancing amongst global teams are here to stay. In order for companies to be successful with this new norm, they must practice these new tactics. Although this may be drastic change amongst some companies, a company can still be successful by avoiding communication overload, providing adequate collaboration tools and time, and encouraging team members to share their knowledge and provide training. In order to avoid communication overload, you should create a structured communication without overflowing employees' mailboxes. The success of your team also relies on providing useful communication tools such as digital meeting and fast communication platforms. Lastly, always encourage your team to be proactive in their trainings to heighten their skills.
The implementation of Neely's split framework can help global teams overcome barriers and improve connections among the team members. By looking at the many factors of teams' structures, processes, languages, identities, and technologies, global team leaders will be able to pinpoint issues and apply necessary changes to solve those issues.